Yes, yes.
Okay, so thanks for coming, guys. It's actually nice that we're not talking to a camera or empty room, so thanks for that. Basically, just want to introduce ourselves. This is Hassan and I'm Jade, and together we own a company called Whip It. So we just wanted to tell you a bit about the business, and then also we're going to be running like a work placement scheme. So we're going to try and keep it short and sweet so you don't switch off. So yeah.
Cool. Are you all right, guys? Thanks for joining us today. And so a little bit about Whip It. So basically, we are a mobile valeting business. So for anyone that doesn't know what that means, we basically are a mobile car wash, which means that we go to people's houses or their workplaces and wash their vehicles. However nice that car is or rubbish that car is, we're there to clean it. And that's basically the main thing that we do. And the company was created and launched during lockdown. So we were both in previous roles before. When the first lockdown hit, wanted to come up with an idea that basically meant that we could still make some money and run a business during the lockdown. So Whip It's what we came up with. And it was designed in March, and we actually started taking bookings, so for paid customers in July. So it took around, it wasn't March, it was May, I think, was it? March. May or March, I don't know, it's been a long year anyway. But and then we started taking paid bookings towards the end of July, and things are going from strength to strength. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that today.
So this is something like we're really proud of. Like obviously we're not kind of from an automotive or valeting background, so like to actually do this and actually have a successful business is something that we're really pleased with. We've had one van out on the road. It's been fully booked. It was booked up to a week in advance. We're now booked up to 2 weeks in advance. So we've just invested in a second van, and it looks like that's going to get booked up too. So we're going to be investing in a third van come January. The growth has just been, it wasn't expected, but it's really exciting.
So who would be mad enough to launch a business in an industry with no experience in the middle of a global pandemic? Well, that was us too. So just to give you a little bit of background of what we did before. So I was working for a company called Prism. It wasn't that nightclub that you guys probably know of, but it's an events company in the centre of Bristol, and they run events all around the world. And I was the marketing director for the firm, and Jade was the ops director. Obviously, as you can imagine, I mean, you guys have probably been affected not being able to go to festivals and things like that. The events industry has taken a massive hit during COVID, and so as a result, the company had to make around about 150 or so redundancies, and unfortunately Jade was one of them. And then so I looked at the situation as well and thought, like, I've got a business plan that I want to run with. So I gave Jade a call and said, do you fancy trying to set this up with me? And she was game, and that's where we are. So as we said, we got no real experience. We had no experience in valeting apart from me. I used to go and knock on people's doors when I was about 9 years old and ask if I could wash their car. But apart from that, that's the only experience of car washing I had. But I do have a lot of marketing experience. Jade has got a lot of operations experience, and obviously when running a business, those two things are very important as well.
So it just made sense for us to partner up. We've been working together for about 3 years, so we know how each other works. We know what the other one's good at or not so good at. So it means that we can kind of palm off the jobs that we don't want to do to the other one. So it's a pretty good system. I just want to highlight that like a lot of people assume that Hassan and I are like married. We're not together. We're not married. It's like I'm actually in this business because I want to be, which as a female, people kind of just think women don't really work in automotive, which tends to be the general norm. But I'm here because it just, when we looked at the business plan and when we were launching it, it just seemed like a really exciting opportunity, and I wanted to do it. So yes, not a husband and wife team. And
just before we go to the next slide as well, going back onto that as well, like the original business plan was that we, and still is, and the future of the business, this is what it's going to be, is it's basically Whip It is a convenience brand for car owners, which basically means that we've got the mobile car wash, which is the mobile valeting, but we're also looking to launch a mobile mechanic this time next year as well, which is basically the same system that rather than people having to come to you, you go to them so that they can crack on with their working day or like spend their time with their kids or whatever. It's all about being a convenient service. That's what everyone's after these days. That's why you've got things like Deliveroo and Just Eat. Everyone's looking for things to their doorstep. So that's where the concept came from as well.
So like obviously mobile valeting isn't new. So we just wanted to explain like why we're different.
Yeah. So yeah. mobile valeting, I mean, people have been doing it for some time, but actually in the industry itself, it's quite an old-fashioned and dated industry. So in terms of like, a lot of you guys now will be like really tech savvy, everything will be on apps and on your mobile and stuff like that, whereas like pretty much the car wash industry, as you can probably see from the high streets and things like that, is very old school, and there's not many particularly like grabbing brands out there. There was no one doing anything that like where you could book online or book through an app. So we were the first business that we know of in the local area to be doing that. So that kind of sets us apart from our competition at the moment. And yeah, as we said before, our background isn't valeting, but it was important that we, like, when our first recruit that we made was a really good valeter who had the ability to train our new valeters and also had the work ethic and the drive and also the same vision as us to make the business a success.
So we really pride ourselves on being like fair and equal employers. Like the car wash industry is actually got one of the highest slave labour rates, which is awful. And it's probably not a surprise when you actually think about it that you can drive through and get a car wash for a £5. Like these people aren't being paid fairly. So one of the things that's really important to us is that all our employees are on a salary, like all of them receive like holiday sick pay, like they all kind of have rights, they all get treated well. And also what we've done is we've put like commission and bonus schemes in place, just because obviously like this is something that's really important to Hass, but it's trying to keep up that motivation for other people as well. So yeah, that's really important to us. The other thing that's important to us as well is like making sure that like we're continually developing our service, that we're being like new, innovative, like just being smart about what we do. So we've got an eco-friendly wash as well, because obviously like Bristol's a bit hippie, isn't it? Like, so that kind of goes down quite well. And then obviously the other stuff we're doing is we work a lot with like the community. My actual background, like previous events, was like a lot of the work in the care industry. So it's important to me to do like work placements and to kind of help others. So the other thing we're doing is working with the Bristol's Children's Charity as well. So we've organised a toy drop for the last 6 weeks, which will basically collect toys. Our customers leave it in their cars, we valet the car, take the toys, and then we give them a £10 credit as a thank you, and then we'll drop the toys off. So yeah, we're trying to be like just a great business really, and like have like very strong morals that are like important to us. So the next thing that we've been doing is we've actually done some work which Hass will go on to talk about. But is anyone here actually a Bristol City fan? Or Rovers, City or Rovers?
No City or Rovers.
Or no one likes football, right? Yeah, do you all hate football? Yeah, okay.
There's one person over there going, are you a City fan? No. Rovers?
No, nothing. All right, you're not going to be very excited about the next bit then.
All right, cool. Well, luckily, so like basically he used to play for Chelsea, Jade and Hassan, and City luckily got hold of him, and we managed to flag him down in my car park where I live, and ask him if we could wash his car basically, and he's got a very nice car. It's that one there, and basically, yeah, so that's kind of where like some of our marketing strategies started. We basically flagged him down, asked him if he'd do some pictures, post on his Insta story, review us on Facebook and stuff, to just basically try and give us some sort of like celebrity endorsement, so that other people like knew a face or not. And just the fact that he's from Bristol City, you don't even necessarily need to know who he is. It's just the fact that he plays for Bristol City is quite a good selling point to other people, to know that we're a trustworthy brand, and we appeal to a lot of people. And then off the back of that, we managed to Han Masengo. I don't know if any of you have seen High School Musical. I haven't, but apparently he looks a spitting image of a guy out of that.
Yeah, actually.
And so he's basically an 18-year-old. He's 19 now, I think. Plays for Bristol City. He came from Monaco. He's followed by Kylian Mbappe on his Instagram. So Kylian Mbappe, who's the most valuable footballer in the world, which I'm proud of, knows who Whippet is. So that's good. And he basically came and got his car cleaned with us as a result of doing Jay's. And his car was absolutely filthy. You wouldn't expect it of a championship footballer. And then from the back of that as well, Thomas Callas, who's the Bristol City captain, we got the benefit of cleaning his Lamborghini as a result. So if you guys ever do want to come out and work with Whippet and you might get the luck of one of these guys getting to go and meet these guys and wash their vehicles.
And we've like been in talks with like Taylor Moore, and then
Taylor Moore, and then Semenyo got in touch with us today actually, and then another Rovers player got in touch with us today as well. So we're trying to branch out into that world as well, like where we can do kind of like higher end vehicles. But like we say, we try and appeal to the masses. So every kind of, we service everyone basically.
But the funny thing is that like we haven't actually we haven't paid them. So a lot of the time people think like when you have like influencers or like Instagrammers that you've like paid them to have our service. Like Jay was just a happy accident. We actually charged him Sengo. So he did actually pay for our service. So yeah, it's not something where like we're a small business, we don't have loads of money, like that's just how it is. So these guys haven't like come to us because we're paying them or like we're making promises. I think we only have like 500 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like they don't really get anything out of it. So it's just nice that they kind of want to support the business. And like we also like through obviously booking them in, like Hassan and I now get to like text them and be like, so guys, we've had this idea and we're like thinking about launching like a video campaign. So we like did some filming with Jay, literally just, it was Monday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Monday. Yeah. So we were like, by the way, like, how do you feel about like filming with us? And he's just like, yeah. So I'm like, great. So like, we can get away with a lot just from being like quite personable.
Yeah.
So that's kind of quite a lot of fun. So yeah.
Cool. And so as I mentioned before, with regards to if you guys ever did want to come out with us and you did want to see what it was like to valet a vehicle, there's like a lot more to it involved than just kind of chucking water on a car. It is a profession, and obviously with that, and the people that are involved want to come and work with us, we expect a few certain things. Like, and this is what not just we would expect, but probably employers like across the country would expect from you as they're taking you on as apprentices, and that's to have a good attitude. Obviously, like look like you care about the work you're doing, and be keen to learn and keen to grow in your profession. Be punctual. So being on time, especially important in our world, because obviously if you turn up late for one, you're then late for the next and the next and the next, and before you know it, you're turning up to unhappy, pissed off customers, and that's not a fun day to have. And yeah, being, as I just said, being keen to learn, and also being reliable as well. So being trustworthy, that we can rely on you to turn up every day, and perform your duties to the best of your ability, basically.
So I'll just tell you a little bit how it works. So as part of your course, you have to do work placement, but actually what we want to offer is like give you guys actual real life work experience. So the option is that you can do your work placement with us, which is just part of your course. And then assuming that goes well and you're on board and like you actually love what we do, we're actually offering to extend it, but actually pay you for the work that you're doing. And then from that, like I'll write you a reference, I promise that it'll be a lovely reference, which you can then use for like other employers or like also like college courses. Sometimes they ask for a reference and stuff like that. Like we just know at the moment in terms of getting jobs, it's really hard at the moment. So it's really important to us that we're kind of like doing our bit. And obviously like Hassan and I, like, you know, it's not so much like we don't, with our current valeters, we've got Kevin, who obviously it was really important that he had loads of experience because he sets the standard, but we've just recruited someone new like Jack, who's actually very young. He's like in his 20s. But what we loved about Jack was even though he had no experience, he's so keen to learn. He's so enthusiastic. He doesn't actually come from a place of qualifications. Like that's not the kind of stuff that's important to us. Like what's important to us is that you're willing to work with us, we can trust you and we can rely on you, and like those are the qualities that we just want, which I think is pretty reasonable, to be honest. So that's kind of the scheme that we're putting in. Obviously if we grow and if you finish college and like, you know, like when we're launching like the mechanic stuff and you feel like there's potential, hopefully we would have built a good enough relationship that you might feel one day you'd want to come back and work for us full time. So what we kind of expect, we've kind of gone through is like, you know, but also like we wanted to lay out what you should expect from us. It's not just about what you can bring to us, it's what we can bring to you as well. So there is obviously a customer service element that is really important. So if you don't like talking to people, this might not be the best thing for you. And also like you will learn like valeting skills and techniques. And then the other thing is like what we would love is to give you like a 360 view of the business. Hassan and I, it's our first business that we've like launched, and we would love to be able to like share your knowledge, like share like what we've learned, because I don't know, like a lot of people, I don't know if any of you sat here would love to own your own business one day, but it would be really great if you can kind of learn from our mistakes and not have to go through that process. And also as well, you can see actually what it takes to set up a business, like what we actually do, learn some marketing stuff from us and like how we do it. So we want it to be like a real 360 overview of like what we do, and hopefully that will again like give you skills that you can like carry on. It's really simple to apply for it. Like I said, like the thing that's most important to us is that we get to know who you are, but also the other thing is like, and I would advise this in life, whatever job you go for, make sure that they're the right fit for you. So actually go on their website, have a look at their socials, because if you don't like what they're doing, you're probably not going to want to work for them. So please like visit our website, have a look at our socials, and like if you feel that, you know, our brand is something that is interesting to you, then like great. If it's not, that's absolutely fine. And then literally like either on your own or with your tutor, just write why, you know, we might be of interest to you guys. And like we'd love to know, just write a little bit about yourself. I'm not asking for a page, just like a paragraph is fine. And the other thing that would be really helpful for us as well, so we can help you get most of the experience, is just write 3 things that you want to learn, whether it's like I'd love to learn, I don't know, business skills or marketing, or actually I'm just interested in car polishing, or like I'd love to know this and that. So like that way it just means that if you want to come join us, you're actually getting a lot from us, rather than just a kind of Bob standard placement where you kind of turn up and go home. So yeah.
Cool. I was going to say any questions, but we got one straight away. Yeah. What's your name, sorry, mate? Mohammed. Nice. Yeah. What
service you provide? Polishing, wrapping, ceramic coating.
Yeah. So valeting is. Yeah, no. So the valeting, the services that we provide are it's the basic car wash, but it in levels. So we don't do any wrapping or anything like that. We've got some extras that we do, like alloy refurbishment and things like that. But we remove wraps from cars, but we don't put them on. But the things that you'll be coming out and doing on a day-to-day basis, we'll be learning basically mini valet, a kind of intermediate valet, and a gold valet, which is basically learning how to to dress leathers, to dress interiors, to wax, to polish, to wet vac, to shampoo vehicle seats, basically turn a car that can be an absolute state and turn it into looking kind of like forecourt ready and new. So if you've got pride in vehicles and you like cars, then you'll enjoy making cars look like they're desirable to drive again, you know. And obviously if you like nice vehicles as well, our general like market that we focus on, or our general customers, are generally like tend to have quite nice vehicles, so it's a good opportunity to go and kind of build up your car knowledge and have fun with
we haven't like
nice
gone
vehicles.
into like the detailing yet. That's something that we're going to expand on. Basically, when Hassan and I were like planning the business, originally we were going to launch everything at once, and then after like a month of like extreme stress, we were like, no, let's just slow down, let's just launch one thing at a time, make that thing absolutely perfect, and then we can launch something else. So like we are very ambitious, we have big plans to like add new services, but at the moment we're just trying to take it a step at a time.
Yeah, so if you don't understand what that is, so detailing is basically kind of like the next level up from valeting, and it's when you would kind of remove seats from the vehicle, and then you can basically take the whole interior of the vehicle out, completely clean it and bring it back good as new. But those jobs you need highly trained people to be doing that, and it takes like a detailing job will generally take a day or 2 days. Some people will want it done over 3 or 4 days. It's like depends on what vehicles you're working on and what the customer requests. But obviously, because at the moment we're a small team and we've only got a limited amount of staff, we have to kind of bring that into the business at the right time and kind of recruit those expertise as and when we need them. Cool. Any other questions at all?
You don't have to ask questions, it's not compulsory.
How many hours are working? From what time?
So it changes from season. So obviously in the summer it's lighter for a lot longer. Obviously we are a new business, we have made mistakes. We did try nighttime valeting, we had like spotlights, we had a gazebo, but honestly it's just more hassle than what it's worth. So at the moment, over the winter period, our hours are from 8 a.m. until about 4, half 4.
Yeah.
And then obviously in the winter we extend it, but also with our timetable, obviously we want our staff to feel like they have a voice. So a lot of the time we'll open a timetable based on like what works for them. So for instance, our valet at the moment, Kevin, he's super relaxed. He just kind of wants to work as much as he can. So he kind of does like Monday to Friday and then a half day Saturday or a half day Sunday. And then every other week he'll get like a full weekend off, but that's like through his choosing. And he'll kind of come to us if he wants like extra days off or extra time off.
And the standard working week in this is 40 hours a week. So even in the summer, if we're open from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m., it's like the valeters will work a 40 hour period during that week. And then if they want to do overtime and earn themselves more money, then that's up to them. But they're contracted to 40 hours a week, basically, is how it works.
Yeah.
If I sign in, which day I have to start work?
Basically, like we will liaise with like Duncan and Amy. So obviously we want to, this like the idea is that it doesn't take you away from college. Like college is really important. So we wouldn't be taking you out of classes. So sorry if you thought that was an option. So yeah, we work with Duncan and Amy and your tutors and just work out like what is your scheduled time off. And like we would put together a plan that basically works around you guys. So yeah.
Any other questions? Cool. Nice. Say quick few words. That's all right.
Yeah,
So thank you all for coming. By the way, I'm Duncan. This is Amy. So we're part of the industry placement team, but I look after you guys in motor vehicles. So if you guys are interested in talking to Jade and Hassan, give me a shout. You can talk to Stuart, who will give you my email address, and I'll be able to get back in touch with them. All right.
I want to sign in for this.
Sorry.
I want to sign in.
If you want to sign up for this, yeah, you get in touch with me, and I'll give you my email address. Okay. So if anyone else wants to, speak to Stu, or you can get in touch with work experience people, and I'll give you the email address for it. Okay. Thank you both very much for coming.
Cheers.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us, guys.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Yeah, that's it. You're free to leave now.
I'm going to give it to you in a sec. Give it to you a second.
If you don't want to say you want to do it now, you want to tell us to do, that's absolutely fine. We're not putting you on the spot or anything.
There's like no rush.